Hey y'all, welcome to the craft room. We are making some fused glass today for our April craft-along kits, but also for listing on our website and using in our own work. So let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty, so here I have set up my molds with boron nitride, the ZYP. And actually, what did I do with the can of it? Oh, I didn't put it back where it goes. Here it is. The zip coatings boron nitride. It's a high temperature dry lubricant and release agent. It keeps the glass from sticking. So we're going to be using some sea blue transparent. Everything that I'm using today is a 96 COE. And then turquoise green transparent. I love the transparent ones. They're so pretty. And then peacock feather transparent. So I'd like to do like a little bit of a gradient. It was dust bowl levels, as close to dust bowl as I'd ever like to experience. Like windstorm this morning, and it's still windy AF, but it's at least not dusty anymore. So I'm just going to take our darkest color, which is our peacock feather transparent, and I'm just putting some of these will end up having the darkness at the bottom, and some of these will end up having the darkness at the tip of the teardrop. Which is awesome, because sometimes I don't know what my favorite thing's going to be. So it's really nice to get to kind of just mess around and find out. Being careful to keep it inside the molds. And I also want to make sure that I'm not like introducing... I don't want to be scraping off any of the release agent into the glass. So just being gentle-handed as best I can. Oh, I do have like a soft bristle brush that I could use. Just very, very lightly, just sweeping. And anytime I get any little freckling, like how we have down here, I hope I'm in frame, I just leave it be, because I think that might look really nice whenever we fire and it all is like kind of mixed and speckled through. So I'm actually going to start encouraging some of that behavior through the way that I shake it from my spoon scooper, which is a dash scooper. So whatever that means. Some folks who do fused glass, I admire them greatly, measure how much they're putting into each of their molds. I just eyeball it, and hence, so as a result, I get like really varying results. I'm okay with that. That's part of the... I'm going to be honest, I'm not looking for 48 identical pieces. I'm looking for 48 very similar pieces. That way, you know, if we ever run into each other in the wild, me who crafted with one of my own cabs and maybe somebody who bought some off of our website, we can like, it's like the Spider-Man meme where they're pointing at each other. And so we'll be like, ah, and so it's like a whole sister batch. And I think that's a lot of fun. So just coming through, scoop, scoop, scoop. So we're trying something new with these cabochons. Yesterday, Randy and I put some studio nuggets, which are like some great big honking chunks of glass. Again, still 96 COE. That way everything's nice and compatible. And we heated them up in the oven to 500 degrees. Because we were looking not just for crackling our glass, because in the marble frying tutorials that we had watched that were very helpful, they weren't looking to like full on explode their marbles. They just wanted the crackling effect. Well, we were hoping it would explode, and it didn't, but that'll be fine. So from here, I am going to add in the green transparent, because this sea blue transparent is a fine grain, and it looks very similar to the peacock feather transparent. So I may do just this one with the turquoise green and the peacock feather, just to see. Because these are medium grain frit as well. And it doesn't add too many bubbles. Whereas that fine grain, that'll really give us like some bubbles. So I think I'm going to put the frit on top, like the clear frit, and then put some of that fine grain over it to add like some floaty veining of colors. But we'll get there when we get there. But yeah, so we fried these studio nuggets, and well, 500 degrees in the oven, and then we shocked them into ice water. And I was supposed to set a timer for like 20 minutes to let the glass get good and hot, but I completely forgot about it. So it was like 40 minutes probably before we got around to it. But it worked perfect. Nothing like exploded for us. But we then took our frit smasher. If y'all are interested in like video of this, let me know, because I prefer to show as opposed to just talk about it. But if nothing else, this is my verbal diary for future Vaughn, if she forgets what it was that we had done to make the frit. But we took our frit smasher and we went out onto the front porch where we've got a big, nice, sturdy work surface. And we smashed the crap out of it, the little nuggets. And frying them first worked way better. It was so much less effort to get them to like explode apart. And I'm going to have to do a cost analysis because I can't remember how much we paid for that bag of studio nuggets. I know we got it on clearance. So I'm just going to have to research and find how much to buy it, you know, right now would cost. And that's the price that we'll use. But we got 5 pounds of pre-made coarse frit from like Delphi Glass. And it was like, I don't know if it was 60 or 80 bucks, but it was too much, y'all. Like we used to pay 56 for one of those 5-pound containers, I think. And so I was like, there's gotta be a better way. And then I also would love chunkier, like big old bits of frit. Maybe not quite studio nugget sized, but a little bit smaller would really do the trick for me. And so just being able to make our own out of something that's not just sheet glass as well, because sheet glass comes out really nice and like thin. And so we could make frit out of this. And so let me show you real quick. So this is one of the containers of frit that we would normally use. And you can see each of these, it looks like they were made out of clear sheet because none of them are thicker than, you know, that 3 millimeter. Sorry, I have to go on tippy toes to see if I'm in frame. So that's the store-bought frit. And then this is our frit. And I always save these containers, but you can see that's a really nice, like, big chunk. And then we've got some small. So I love having this option because especially here on these teardrops, that's going to be really nice to fill it in without incorporating more air than necessary. So from here, I'm going to just pick up each of the molds and kind of shake it just a little side to side to just get that glass nice and even. Oh, my workspace is so like messy and cluttered, but I love it. I mean, this is just a happy, crafty craft room. All right, up next we have, I'm going to use this container. No, I'm not. It's got something else in it. Do I not have one with a little bit of dichro? That's got some, nope, that's something else. Okay. Maybe my dichroic glass is in here. Well, heck, I don't know where it is. So I have these little tubes of rainbow dichroic glass. Okay, we've gotten a little bit of a different camera angle so I can actually see what's going on. But here we have, I always check the COE because one time I didn't and I mixed 2 things of dichro frit together and wasted about $400 worth of materials because now, you know, it's this size of medium grain frit mixed into each other. So now I just do 1 tube at a time. And that's what, 2 ounces? That's 1 ounce. Woof. So there we go. But these are going to give us such a really nice little opal shimmer in our cabs. And I save these tubes because I love them for whenever I'm pulling a bunch of my own stringer. And if it's real delicate stuff, and I can just put them here in my tube. But that's for whenever I'm doing like torch work. So, and this also helps me to keep track of how many cabochons I'm able to get out of a tube. Because I don't want to be stingy, you know, out of an effort to be economical, but I also don't want to be wasteful, you know, by doing more than what's necessary to get the effect. Whoop. And honestly, and even if it takes just quite a bit to get the effect that I'm looking for, I just want to make sure that I'm pricing my work accordingly. And so I do like to get, honestly, probably more towards the middle gives us a very nice effect. So I'm remembering from other projects, because anything that I put towards the sides, oh, I'm not even in frame. Anything that I put towards the sides gets sucked up like around the edges of the cab. So I'm just going to go like this down in the middle. Just that one needs a little bit more. And, you know, I'm just going to do whatever I feel like, because that makes crafting so much more fun for me. If I can just be like, chaos, and just kind of go from there. And again, just however the cookie crumbles, however the dice rolls, it's kind of nice that, you know, it adds to the natural variation between each of these cabochons. Okay, and I realize I'm probably out of frame, but I'm also trying to get a realistic time expenditure on these projects. And hopefully I'm keeping you company in your own craft room or whatever it is that you're doing today. I know it can be lonely work from my end here in the craft room, so it's nice to, you know, kind of leave a really long voicemail for my friends as they hang out and watch my videos. So I'm going to do... how am I going to do this? I'd like to do a sprinkling of the store-bought frit, because it is a pretty nice consistent size. But then I'm going to go through with our homemade frit and like put a hunky chunk on top of it. That way it can spread out. And I'm going to zoom out. Y'all hear that? Oh my gosh. I love like just the Captain Crunch cereal scoop sound of my little scooper into the glass. But this is going to help not, how do I put this? Not lock down the colors in the dichro, but kind of, you know, whereas if I just do, it's going to, I don't know, I think it, you know, and we could experiment. We could do just one that has just a big old chunk of the frit that we made just sat right on top, and that'll be our tester. And that way, if it's terrible, we know, and we didn't waste, you know, a whole bunch trying to find out. But if it's intriguing, I'm going to be doing a second batch of these for sending out in our craft along kits and for listing to our website and for our own use. So we might do the second batch in not just a slightly different color, but in a slightly different technique too, just to see. Just scooping and putting in. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we were getting hit with the dust from the, in yesterday's news, was hitting New Mexico. We were going to be going into town to run errands today, but I was like, I don't feel like driving through a dust storm, and I don't know how bad it's going to be on the straightaways on the interstate. So let's just stay home. So we were able to shift our schedule around a little bit, which I think even whenever like financially things are tight and, you know, business isn't quite booming the way that we'd love for it to, it's still such a blessing to get to be able to, you know, be able to make that decision that it's like, you know, the weather's sour, let's stay home. And we can, you know, fill whatever time just got freed up from not having to run errands in town. We can fill that time with something else and just shuffle it around. So that's probably one of my favorite luxuries of running our own business. Though I don't know, back in the day, we did make ourselves drive through Winter Storm Nemo to get to a convention because we had paid for the booth fee in the hotel and stuff. And, you know, this was back whenever you couldn't just cancel. You know, nowadays it seems like you can cancel right up to the last second, and a lot of these hotels won't, you know, they'll give you a refund. But back then, was like, it's like we either had to go and be there or we were not going to be getting our money back. In hindsight, we probably should have just stayed home, but we went and we had a good time, but it was terrible. Like, it was not a good vending event. We had to get an extra night hotel room because of the snow. We were lucky that there were any rooms available even, but so we get that luxury except for when we don't. And then we suck it up, Buttercup, and work through it. There we go. But we did have the opportunity, and we took it, to leave a day early to go get there, knowing that the storm was coming in. Okay, so now I'm going to come through with, that one's a little large. So, but I'm looking for something about this size. I'm going to do where it's not fisheye lens, that way, there we go. Oop, popping that into there, popping that into there. And used to, what I would have done for this, that one's a little large, is used a piece of double thick clear. But again, I'm going to need to do a cost analysis to see if it really is a better deal to, and if I run out of those really big pieces, then I can just add 2 smaller chunks. And I'm interested to see how that goes. Yeah, I'm not going to do an additional sprinkling of the real fine frit onto these. I think I'll just use that color on its own tomorrow. That's a little big. But yeah, you can kind of see just the beautiful little crackle. Heating the glass up first and then smashing it. It took 1 hit per like nugget. Whereas used to, whenever we were just taking the studio nuggets and smashing them, we were getting so much like metal and, you know, other things from the frit smasher, like different impurities. So then we had the burden of, yeah, like this one hadn't been fried, so you can see the difference. This one has all of those fracture lines inside of it, so it broke it up beautifully, whereas this one, we were hitting it and nothing. So it seems obvious now to think about it. It's like, well, of course we should have just fried it, but here we are. Can't tell if everybody's trash cans are blowing away or if that's actually like the trash truck. Oh, I think that's the trash truck coming through. Cool. We'll need to go out and get the can before it blows away. So I think I'm going to start doing, like, recording these videos and posting them, like, as a craft room vlog. As opposed to trying to make it, like, a quick and efficient and excellent tutorial. It's like, man, because I've been putting so much pressure on myself to try to, like, do good work. Like, you know, short, concise, to the point. And I was like, there's lots and lots of people who are super good at being very competent at what they do. And so I'm going to lean into my strengths, and this is my strength is in having fun, I guess. So this is just me having fun in my craft room. So thank you guys, anybody who's watching this, for coming and hanging out, and just your being here and hopefully enjoying our videos. Really helps to support our channel and really helps us to, you know, do what we love for a living. So I feel really blessed to get to share it with you guys. Even though I'm out of frame. Herpin derp doodle boopin doo doo. Hey Randy, they're stealing our trash. Okay. No, I'm not allowed to bark at the trash man anymore. Uh-oh, did some of our trash get stuck in there? I don't know. Oh, I'm gonna get back to work and mind my own business. So I ran out of big old chunks faster than I thought I would. I've still got quite a bit that are like just massive. Those will be perfect for something, I'm sure. But yeah, like this one, that's way too big. Keep thick. Yeah. Yeah, that one's too big. And so some of these I might be able to get in there. So yeah, just a slightly larger grade of frit. Well, Randy's gone on out there to help the trash man do whatever needs done. It's been so windy. It's just about, it's starting to pull one of the attic windows out, and I don't know, I'm not entirely certain how we're going to deal with that. And then it keeps slamming the back door, so we're having to leave that like with like a medieval style bar over the door so that it doesn't get caught in the wind. But happy homeowner stuff. So yeah, this is what we do most days. It's pretty nice. Usually I'll have like music or something going, or we'll have a video going that I can just listen to keep me company while oh, well, we're all done with that. Awesome. Time to start loading it into the kiln. Ooh, I forgot this was in here. Oh, I'm a little short to do that. Oh, so we were trying to do a pot melt, and it just, I think we need to give it another go. So it's not failed, we're just learning. How goes it in the outside world, my love?
Got the trash back here.
That's good.
The neighbor's trash can out in the middle of the street. So.
Thank you. All right, so I just bring them around and I'm setting them in, and it's a Paragon CS16S, so it's a square clamshell. That's the CS, and I like the clamshell style because I like working well at this level, as opposed to having to take something and like set it in. I prefer this for what I do. And 16-inch square clamshell. I think we're like 8 inches deep this away, like depth, but I've got 2-inch kiln posts here. We're going to get our molds set in, and then I'm going to grab a kiln shelf and put it on top, and we can pull off 2 layers of molds. So that'll be really nice to get these fired. I'm really kind of worried about having them overfilled, but I ran out of the large nuggies, so I guess it'll be what it is. These might end up being like super dummy thick, but that'll be perfect for the tutorial, because April's tutorial is like an amphora style wire wrap, like those Grecian style vases that they would, I don't know, I associate them with Grecian, but I think it's, you know, from a few different cultures used that style of pot to transport goods. But I'll be right back to the kiln shelf. Woo! Oh, door slammed because of the wind. Sorry, y'all. It's just getting this sat in like that. And since we're just setting molds on it, I'm not worried about the kiln paper or anything. Alrighty, so here we are. Next batch of colors that we're going to be working on is making this style of cabochon. This one has a little blemish on it that we're going to grind out, but this is the example of what we're making. Alrighty, so the first thing that I'm going to do, and I've got some of the remnants of whenever we do our puddle smash cabs, which we have other videos of that here on the channel. You can just search in our fused glass playlist. But I'm beginning with a base layer of the medium pale purple, just 1 dash scoop. And I'm giving myself a heaping dash scoop. Just Coming through, scoop, scoop, scoop. Now, fortunately, this is the most, like, getting the molds filled, I've found, is the most, like, labor intensive, because everything else is just letting the kiln run its course. So that'll be nice. And I think I'm going to do 2 in this color. 2 of the 4 molds. And then I'm going to do 2 in our grape medium frit. Because I think that'll look pretty cool. Keeping everything tidy. So there's that. Putting the lid back on because I would hate to spill one of these. But yeah, here we have a grape medium transparent. And this is a really bold purple, so I'm doing like a half scoop into each mold. And then we'll add in some of the store-bought clear frit. Because otherwise it looks so dark you can't tell it's purple. And so we'll do that, and then we'll just shake it around a little bit. There we go. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Okay, so now I'm going to come through. I'm just going to pour some into the lid so we can see what we're working with. But you can see we've got some different hunks and chunks of frit and stuff here. That one's a little big. I'll set that off to the side, but I really like, I love the pieces that are like this, where there's a little bit of translucency there. There goes the neighbor's trash can again.
Is it in the street?
No, not yet.
Okay. As long as it's not in the street, it's their problem.
Right on. But yeah, I'm just going to take a big old piece of this frit and set it in to our little molds. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to capture some of that really beautiful banding that's the camera's having such a hard time picking up on. And whenever the pieces get too small for it to make sense for me to pick them up individually, I'm just using my little scooper. Because I figured, worst case scenario, it's just pretty blobby, swirly purple. Which, like, that sounds awesome in and of itself. So, just letting it be whatever it's going to be. But I figure waste not, want not. And this is like a secondary product from when we do our puddle smash cabs. So, I'm excited to see how this ends up looking. So you can see we end up with quite a bit of fine frit as well. I'm going to do this one next. Oh, wait, I was going to do those with some of the frit first. Okay. Like the clear frit, I mean. So scoop. And this certainly makes sure that each of them comes out a little different. Like, I think this has some electric purple is one of the colors that we did in this stack. Find myself kind of wishing I had done more clear, or maybe some like a white opaque. That way it would shine through that dark purple a little more. But that's part of the fun of doing fused glass, for me at least, is I feel like this really is something that I'm going to be able to experiment and play with for the rest of my creative, life, really. For as long as I'm a glass fuser, I'm going to be having fun messing around with this stuff. And so now I'm coming through with, this is the store, like a store-bought frit. Just to help spread that base purple. And to give us a little bit more of a bed to set our big chunks of frit into. So I was thinking about it, and I think I'm going to save my large chunks for, oh, well, I shouldn't have just done that. I'm going to use more of the store-bought frit on these guys, and then I'm going to use, I don't know why I just dumped all this in there. It seemed such the right thing to do. Instant regret. Okay. If I come across another huge chunk. But I'm going to use my big frit as like filler on these rounds. Oh yeah, that's a big boy. So just, yeah, getting the putting a nice little chunk in there. And this gives us some nice size variation, which sometimes I'm like, woohoo, and sometimes I'm like, dear God, I just want two that are the same size. And that's where measuring would really come in handy. But I'm not doing that. So I have no good reason not to. I'm just not doing it. But fortunately, I think everything will be all right anyways. Because the nice thing too about these being round is even if I underfill them, I'm still going to end up with a pretty nice round cabochon. It just might not be as thick as the other ones. Whereas with the teardrops, it's very important to me that I do not overfill them, but fill them enough for sure. That way they achieve that teardrop shape, because if I underfill those, they come out like kind of egg shaped, which is not bad, but it's not what I'm going for one. And for two, it's oftentimes it'll look a little bit more wobbly and less like it'll look more like it was unintentional. Whereas these guys, they'll just look, I don't know. I think it's passable on the rounds. It's not on the ovals and teardrops for my own standards. And all I can do is make something up to my own standards and hope that it's good enough for other people. Because for years with the business, these past couple, we've been really trying to make, everybody else happy. Because at first it was super duper working. And then I was like kind of trapped in doing what I felt like other people wanted me to. And I wasn't making time or prioritizing doing what I was passionate about. And until I got all kind of cramped up and my creativity felt dried up and I was just felt exhausted all the time. Like, I think the term is burnout is the term I keep hearing, but either way, I was tie-tie. And so now I'm just going to do it the way that I want, because by golly, that's what I'm going to do. So I've set my really big nuggets aside. That's, again, why I keep all of my extra containers. It would be wise of me to relabel them, but here we are. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move these out of my way over into the kiln, and I'll show you that angle when we add in the last two. You'll get to see how we loaded that in. There we go. I've never actually clocked myself on how long it takes me to get the kiln loaded. What up, baby?
Some big chunks.
Yeah, I'm a big chunk. Well, there's very little other glass in it, so we'll see how it goes. No time like the present to do some experiments. And honestly, any that come out like super whack, I just keep those for myself. But yeah, I looked up and Randy turned around to look at the kiln and his eyes got all big and I was like, uh-oh. Scoop, scoop. Yum, yum. Rose ice cream premium. Sorry, that's my scooping song. I remember hearing that on the radio when I was a kid. All right, doing a scoop. Doing a scoop. Doing a scoop. And again, I'm hoping that this clear will achieve like a spreading of our puddle smash frit that we've added in, that it will get a nice beautiful blend in with the background, that it'll kind of, for lack of a better term, kind of water things down into a little bit more of like a swirly beautiful cab and not just like hunks of glass chunked together. So we will see, though. We will see. And if these round ones come out quite terrible, what we can do... Well, first I have to define to myself what quite terrible is. And that's if they're so dark that they don't look purple at all. Then what we'll do is we could take one of these rounds and one of our clear tile, and I would stack it and fire it and see how that spread out. Or if it's scuzzed up on the surface, I'll grind it and then put some more clear on top and see how that goes. So there's so many different ways that we can always, if there's a crafter, there's a way for us to salvage it. Alrighty, so here you can see I've added those first two molds. That does look like really massive from the side. And then I stack there, and then I stack here. Now this is our big kiln that's in kind of the center of our home. So, and it clicks when it's on, which drives me nuts. So what we're going to end up doing is we fire this, like we set it on to fire before we go to bed, but I'm going to go ahead and get it closed. And then I'm going to we have a second kiln that I'm going to be getting, not on camera, but I'll link to a video where we show you how we do it. We're going to be making a whole bunch of dichroic glass cabochons again for our kits as well. So pretty excited about that, but gonna get going. We'll catch you after it's been fired. So one last view of how it looks loaded. And then Randy's closing it for me. He's a little taller than me and those 3 inches come in handy. So now we're gonna fire it. Now it's still around. Oh, now those are so pretty. Oh my goodness. That really... Those are so purple. 2 very different purples, but check out these, you guys. Ooh, those teardrops. They're like little mermaid tears. So here we have these out on the porch cooling. And it looks like since we did a 2-layer, some of them didn't really come out perfectly flat. So I think we're just gonna refire them and see if they puddle out a little better. But I'm gonna tell you though, I absolutely love the color on these. They are split, you know, and I think I might just leave them lumpy. I'm gonna leave these lumpy because I love them. Now, as far as these guys go, I'm not entirely convinced that I didn't just forget to put the bonus frit in there. So I don't know, y'all. But this is how some of our dichroic glass is coming out, and this is a terrible angle for most of them, but we'll have to get another look at those. So this is just something that I was doing behind the scenes. Hey y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with me in this video. I do hope that it was helpful to you. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, do leave them down below for future glass studio vlogs. So let's take a look at, first off, I did end up keeping some of these that were a little lumpier and that had like maybe Like this guy's got a little like nodule sticking off of his butt. I keep the ones that are less than perfect for myself to use in my own work. And then the other ones we will be sending out. Like this one I'm pretty pleased with. It's not perfectly like smooth, like how you would expect it to be shaped, but it's got a great like shape, and I think it'll be perfect. It's nice and irregular, but gosh, the clarity and the lensing of I'll get a little bit more footage to like of it just like in my hand. For well, that one's on the ground now for at the end of this video, but I am very, very pleased with how the mermaid tiers came out, and those are going out in our April craft along kits, and any that we have left we will be putting up on our website as well. That's backtoearthcreations.com. And now these guys, I legit completely forgot to put like while I was editing this just now. Randy and I were both watching like carefully, and we were like scrolling through and we were like, nope, we totally did not add the puddle smash frit. So what I'm going to be doing with these is I'm going to be coming through with likely one of these color shifty nail polishes on the backs of them, or maybe some in silver, but keep an eye out for a real short TikTok, like whatever social media we're on. We'll be posting a short form video of how those cabs look with the painted backs. And then again, I just use it in my own work whenever it's kind of weird, you know, or something like that. Now these ones, the other rounds that we had done, oh my God, are so pretty. Like I cannot get over the banding and the patterning in them. Like, cause I loved marbles as a kid. I actually still have my dad's old marbles from when he was a child. And I was always just really drawn to just looking at, I love the little swirly parts in the middle. Those are probably my favorite, the clear ones with the little swirls. And that's what these remind me of. So that being said, oh, I also wanted to show y'all, this is how I ended up wrapping one of the dichroic glass that I can't even get the clasp. One of the dichroic glass that we had made in like the behind the scenes while making this video. So if you are interested in learning how to make this wire wrap style, be sure to like subscribe and stuff, or actually probably what might be more useful to you maybe to sign up for our free newsletter, because that way you don't have to rely on YouTube to send notifications. But we send out a newsletter every time we have a new tutorial live stream or like shop update, and you'll get like coupons and stuff. But we try to not be spammy, but we do have a lot going on here, so we send an email probably a couple times a week with just updates and stuff of what's going on. And I think that's everything. I've been having a really fun time making these craft room vlogs. So if there's something that you guys are interested in kind of crafting along with me to do, you can definitely send us like leave a comment or send us an email to let us know your suggestions. I do have some fairy houses coming up in the future that I'm really excited about, and we'll be sharing a lot of that in our live streams that we do both here on YouTube as well as over on Kick. That's kick.com/backtoearthcreations, and it's a streaming platform very much like Twitch, but I don't know, I really liked being on Kick, and so that's where we're live streaming as well now, and there's no ads over there, which is a lot of fun. But I will see y'all in our next video. So until then, you guys, thank you so much for being here, and happy crafting. Mwah! Bye.